Lia Tortilla presents.
Hey guys, it's me, Lia Tortilla. Welcome back to another exciting episode. Today, I'll be showing you how to make a zesty lemon drizzle cake. Truth be told, baking really isn't my strong point, but I've been given this recipe by my mother's best friend, a lady that I like to call Auntie Sheila. Now, Auntie Sheila makes this cake so beautifully moist and lemony, I'm going to see if I can do it any justice. So, fingers crossed, wish me luck, and here we go. To start, you've got to make sure you've got your oven on 180 degrees. It's vitally important that you preheat your oven. So we're going to weigh out our ingredients, so get your lemons ready. We need 175 grams of self-raising flour, 175 grams of caster sugar, you need 175 grams of soft unsalted butter. Now, to get your butter soft, you can either leave it out of the fridge for a few hours to obviously take the chill off of it, make it soft, or you can stick it in the microwave for a few seconds, but I advise doing it the patient way and leave it out for a bit. Need 3 eggs, and about 3/4 of a teaspoon of baking powder. Now, this recipe usually only calls for 1 lemon, but I'm not a big fan of British lemons. They're usually not that juicy, so I've got 2, just to make sure this is going to be really lemony. Get zesting. Once you've weighed out all of your ingredients and you've zested your lemons, put the lemons to the side for now because we're going to be needing the juice later. So grab yourself a large mixing bowl. Mixing bowl is going to go all of your ingredients. So your eggs, and baking powder, caster sugar, softened butter, and your lemon zest. It all goes into the bowl and we beat it together. Now, this would be much easier if I had an electric whisk, but unfortunately I do not have one of those, so it's going to take me some more time. Make sure, if you're doing this with a wooden spoon, make sure your butter is really soft, and that makes it so much easier. So this is what it looks like before. This is what it should look like after. A nice, fluffy and pale batter. We're going to get our loaf tin ready for the oven now. So we take the remaining softened butter and we're going to grease our tin. Our butter, and we lather up the baking tin, nice and greasy. When your tin's nice and lathered up with butter, it's time to add some flour. Sprinkle some flour in there, shake it all around, make sure it covers all edges, like so. And then you tap the excess of all of this here into the bin. So you've prepared your tin for the oven. We can add our batter mix. So once you've scraped your bowl of all of your batter mix, you don't want any waste because this is so nice. You want to make sure that your batter is even. So we're just gonna tap it out a few times. Give it a shake. That should make sure it's evenly spread through the tin. You can always go over it with a spoon just to flatten out the top of the batter if you wish. Then this is going to go into your preheated oven at 180 degrees, gas mark 4, for 40 minutes. Set your timer. As we now have 40 minutes left to kill, I'm going to tackle this washing up, and then I'll show you how to do the drizzle part of the drizzle cake. For the drizzle, lemon juice. Squeeze into a bowl. If you're struggling to get juice out and you don't have a juicer, you can always use a fork. Stick it in the middle and twist. And make sure you get all of the juice out that you can. Make sure you pick any seeds out because they're bitter and nasty and they won't look good on top of the cake. Once you've de-seeded your lemon juice, we're going to take 100 grams of granulated sugar. Yes, I said granulated sugar. And we're going to pour it in there and dissolve it. Give it a good whisk. You might think it's a bit strange that I've asked you to use granulated sugar instead of maybe icing sugar for the drizzle on top of the cake. That's because the granulated sugar, it forms on the top of the cake and creates more of a crunch, and it gives you that texture when you bite into it. There you go. Have a look at that. You can see it just about rising nicely. So the timer's gone off. It's been 40 minutes, but it's time to check to see if our cake is actually done. So you pull it out the oven, get something sharp, like this skewer, stick it directly in the middle of the cake and pull it out. If it comes out clean, then your cake is done. But if it comes out gooey, then put it back in for another 5 minutes or so. I'm going to turn the cake out now and put it on my cooling tray. Look at that, it came out perfectly. Turn it over quickly. While the cake is still hot and is cooling down, we're going to take a fork and just prick the top of it gently. Once you've pricked your holes, it's time to take our drizzle and spoon it over the cake. Now the reason we made the holes in the cake is so that the drizzle will go down inside of the cake, filling it with all the zesty lemony goodness. Just pour that over. And you see as it starts to cool down, it starts to form a crust. That is what you really want. Now the cake is cooling down. You can see the drizzle crusting nicely. The cake has cooled down, so we're gonna slice into it now. Look at that. This cake is perfect for an afternoon treat. Grab yourself a cup of tea. Oh, it's actually really too hot. And have a slice of cake. This has been Lia Tortilla. I hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you next week. Bye. Just a little thing before I go. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, share it, give me a comment. I like to hear what you have to say. And subscribe to my channel. This has been Lia Tortilla. See you next week.